You are currently the only person in this conference.
Be able to see it later. So today I want to talk about menu compilation, and I said I sent you notes on menu compilation, but we are not dwelling so much on them because we want to at least come up with some menus. So the only point I'll major on in that particular menu compilation handout is the point which says that your items or your menu should be written, or your foods should be in the order in which they are to be eaten or served. When I say your food should be in the order in which they are to be eaten or served, what do I say? Whatever you will serve first is what will appear first on your menu. That is why every time we are writing our menu, we begin with what we call a starter. That starter is what we also call an appetizer. That is what you will serve your customer first. So that is why it is at the beginning of the menu. When you are doing, or you've not done service, but when you serve your food to the module 2, the service students, you see them serving the protein first. After they serve the starter, when they come for the main meal, they will come for the protein, the starch, the vegetable at once. But once they go to the table, they serve the customer the protein dish first. So that is why in our main meal, we usually say in menu planning, you write them in the order of PSV. The protein, the starch, then the vegetable, because the protein will be served first, then the starch will follow, and the vegetable will follow. Then we go to the dessert. We usually define a dessert as a sweet meal served after the main dish. So it is served after the main dish. That is why it is coming after our vegetable as the course, which we call now the sweet course or the sweet dish. Then later we have the coffee with milk. We say that one is not a course. That is why I discourage you from doing the XXX below it, because it is not a course. It is just a beverage after the guest has already taken their meal, taken their starter, their meal, and their dessert. So today I want to start by giving you examples of starter dishes. So I'm hoping that you have somewhere to write. Confirm whether you have somewhere to write. So you have somewhere to write. It's not a lot. Okay. Solomon has confirmed. Any other person confirming? Before I start giving you the dishes, I'm just giving you examples. I'm not going to exhaust. So it does not mean that those are the only starters we have. No. We have very many of them. So the starters that I'm going to give you, I'm going to divide them into cold starters and hot starters. Now, remember our rule in the, what do we call it? The composition of the menu. We always say, and write this down if you are going to forget or if you didn't write last term. If you have a cold starter, then keep it in mind that your dessert will be hot, and vice versa. If you have a hot starter, have it in mind that your dessert will be cold. That is the principle of menu compilation. We must vary them. A hot, begin with hot, then end with cold. Begin with cold, then end with hot. Now, this might not be always the case when it comes to the questions, the culinary terms. Sometimes there is a mistake in compiling the terms that come for exam. So you find that you are going to be having a hot starter and also a hot dessert, or a cold starter and also a cold dessert, which does not happen all the time. So that one rarely happens. So the basic principle of having hot starters and cold starters, or cold dessert and hot start, yes, that is what should happen. So now let's go on to the cold starters. And with cold starters, I'm going to begin with the cold soups, because sometimes back I said that there are some soups served cold or served chilled. So those that are served chilled, I'm giving you examples of two soups. Now I want you to put in mind that these two soups that are served cold do not have accompaniments. So you don't write them stroke croutons. You just write the soup on its own. The first one is known as gazpacho. I'm going to write gazpacho on your chart. Gazpacho. And gazpacho is a cold soup. So that one is a cold starter. The other soup that is served chilled is known as chilled potato and leek soup. Chilled potato and leek soup. Chilled potato and leek soup. It also has another name. It has another hard name. I'll send you the name into your groups via WhatsApp. So chilled potato and leek soup is a soup which is served cold, so it is a cold starter. Gazpacho is a cold soup, so it is served as a cold starter. Now let's go to the other normal cold starters that we know, that we don't cook, the salads and all that. So the first one is meat salad. Meat salad. Another one is rice salad, fish salad, smoked salmon, mixed vegetable salad. Then we have Russian salad. We have avocado pear. Avocado pear, I'm going to write the spelling of pear on your chart. Avocado pear, that is a cold starter. Then we also have potato salad. We have Nicois salad. We have carrot and orange salad. Now, somebody will wonder, why is orange here and it is a fruit? Pay attention that it is with a carrot. The same way we will have pineapple and beetroot salad. So we are going to mask the sweetness of the sweet fruit using the other savory fruit. Remember, we said that salads, the starter salads are not sweet. Then another one is tomato and cucumber salad. All those are salads. They are cold starters. I want also to give you other cold starters like coriander and avocado salsa. Coriander and avocado salsa are also cold starters. So there are many salsas which are starters, and most of them mimic the names of the salads. For example, you'll also find tomato and cucumber salsa. The same way we have tomato and cucumber salad. That is all about the cold starters. Let me go to the hot starters. And the hot starters are now mainly the soups. They are mostly the soups. And you know that soups are categorized into various classes. Now, for the hot starters, we begin with minestrone. Minestrone. Now, minestrone is an Italian soup. Under soups, it is classified as a broth. So, minestrone is served without an accompaniment. When I say without an accompaniment, what do I say? What do I mean? I mean, you don't write minestrone stroke croutons. I'm a minestrone stroke bread roll, because minestrone is a broth. A broth is unpassed. When we say unpassed, we mean it is not strained. In other words, we don't pass it through the conical strainer once we are done cooking. It is cooked together with the spaghetti, together with the potatoes, together with the cabbage, together with the French beans. So we serve them together. We do not strain and serve the liquid part only. We serve it together with its cooking ingredients. So there is no need of putting croutons or bread roll to it. Another one served without accompaniment, Scotch broth. Scotch broth. So Scotch broth again is served together with its ingredients. Chicken broth, in other words, all the broths are served without an accompaniment. Another example of a hot starter is consomme soup. Now, what I usually say about consomme? Consomme is clear soup. Consomme must be served with bread rolls. So never write consomme stroke croutons. It must be served with bread rolls, because the rule of serving soups is that thin soups are served with heavy accompaniments, while thick ones are served with light accompaniments, or they are just garnished. And in most cases, crouton is usually a garnish. Crouton has never been an accompaniment. We write stock croutons because crouton is the appropriate garnish for that particular soup. So the thick soups, the puree soups, they are served with the crouton as a garnish because they are thick, they are heavy. But the thin one, like this one now, the consomme, it must go with the bread rolls, because at least the bread roll is a heavy accompaniment. I do not mean to say that if you find a term which requires bread roll and you have a puree soup or a cream soup, you cannot make. No, you can still make tomato soup with bread rolls, ikibidi. You can still make potato soup with bread rolls if there is that particular term. But in most cases, bread rolls go with the lighter soups like consomme soup, like onion soup. The ones which are watery, the soups which are too liquidy, which are very thin and they are not thick. Another example of a starter, cream of green pea soup. Cream of green pea soup with croutons. Then we have pulse soup. Pulse ni kamande. I think we've done that. Not kamande. Okay, kamande is part of the pulse, but specifically the soup made using kamande is known as lentil soup. But again, when we have pulse soup, we can have any pulse. Peas, beans, lentils, all those are pulses. Then you can also have butternut soup, either cream of butternut soup or simply butternut soup. All those are served with croutons. Now that is enough of the hot starters. You know very many hot soups that we do in the kitchen and serve them with the croutons or with bread rolls. So next, now I want to go to our protein dishes. Next, I want to go to our protein dish. So the protein dishes, as we know, we say that proteins are bodybuilding foods. They can either come from animals or come from plants. So let me just have them mixed up. Let me begin with the eggs. We have various egg dishes. For example, Scotch eggs. Scotch eggs. I believe we've already done this in the kitchen. We boil eggs, then we now come and wrap them with the sausage meat. Now, Scotch egg is a dry protein dish. So now it must have a sauce. So we have Scotch eggs stroke tomato sauce, meaning it is served with tomato sauce. We have curried eggs, egg curry. Now, egg curry is a stew, so it does not require a sauce. Another protein dish, and I'm going to fish, breadcrumbed fish. My breadcrumbed fish fillet. And this one, we are going to write stroke tartar sauce. Stroke tartar sauce. There are sauces that I'm going to give you today that I've never given you. They are fish sauces, some are sauces that we can serve together with the fish. I know the major sauce that I have ever given you or about fish is the tartar sauce. Now, apart from tartar sauce, there are other days. Yes, we can serve Scotch eggs as a breakfast dish. But now here, remember, in your exam, you are not going to be required to prepare. Scotch eggs are usually part of the breakfast menu. But again, when we come to the main menu now, the meal, the menu of a meal of either lunch or dinner, you can also have Scotch eggs as the protein dish. The same way we can also have the omelets, the fried eggs, all those are proteins. They can be served in the main meal as the protein dish. So Scotch eggs, yes, they can be served as a breakfast dish. But when they are served in the breakfast menu, they do not have the tomato sauce. Then I'm going to give you other fish sauces because you know tartar sauce is the main sauce for the fish, but it can become monotonous when you have to keep making fish dishes with only tartar sauce. So Other fish sources include the following. We have white wine sauce. White wine sauce. We also have tomato vinaigrette. Tomato vinaigrette is another sauce that we serve with the fish. Tomato vinaigrette. And we also have butter sauce, butter ya BU, not BA, butter sauce. So those are sauces that we use with fish. So we can have, I've said bread-crumbed fish fillets with the tartar sauce. Then another protein dish, we can have goujons of place with the tartar sauce or with tomato vinaigrette. We can have fish fried in butter. Fish fried in butter BA. You remember the mixture we made, that mixture which looks like the pancake mixture, that is what we call butter, when we caught fish fillet. So fish fried in butter with the tartar sauce or with the tomato vinaigrette or with the butter sauce or with the white wine sauce. So now you can be writing it with not only tartar sauce, but with those other sauces, those other specific sauces that I have given you. Another one is pan-fried fillets. With now pan-fried fillet, the most suitable sauce for pan-fried fillet is the tomato vinaigrette. Pan-fried fillet with the tomato vinaigrette. Then we have fish cakes. Fish cakes with also any sauce among the ones that I've given you. That is all about the fish. It does not mean that those are the only dishes we can make. No. We have very many other dishes we can make using fish, but those are just examples. So now I want to go to another protein dish from the lamb. So from the lamb, we have roast leg of lamb with the gravy sauce, grilled lamb cutlets with thickened gravy. Then we have braised lamb shanks. Now when it is braised, braising is a wet method of cooking. So when it is braised, you don't have to put the sauce because it has the stew. So braised lamb shanks, brown mutton stew or brown lamb stew. Then about beef, we can have beef stroganoff. Beef stroganoff, we call it stroganoff because it has white wine. So beef stroganoff, again, it is wet, does not require any sauce. We have brown beef stew. We have grilled beef with thickened gravy or with gravy or any other, or with tomato sauce. There are very many sauces that can go with red meat. Now, I'm not going to dwell much on beef because beef is almost similar to lamb and mutton. It's like a repetition of the same. Let's go to poultry. Poultry, about chicken, you can have roast chicken with the bread sauce. You can have grilled chicken with the supreme sauce. There is this particular term which gave you a lot of problem when I gave you questions to plan. Liaison. Liaison is mostly used when making supreme sauce, and supreme sauce is a chicken sauce. So supreme sauce is mostly served with chicken, dry chicken, and most appropriate term for that particular term, that particular sauce is liaison. So we have liaison as the term for supreme sauce, and I've said supreme sauce is served together with the chicken, not with red meat, with the chicken. Another poultry, we can have chicken saute, we can have stewed chicken, we can have braised chicken. So all those are protein dishes when it comes to chicken. The other one is pork. And as we all know, the most appropriate sauce for dry pork is known as sweet and sour sauce. sweet and sour sauce. This is the most appropriate sauce for pork, and this is dry pork. For example, when you are making sweet and sour pork, you make it together with sweet and sour sauce. When you are making grilled pork, barbecued pork cutlets, so that is the most appropriate sauce for pork. The other protein dish I dwell on is what we call the offals. Now we said offals are the internal organs of animals. When you look at your production notes, the ones that I sent, they are internal organs of animals like the liver, the kidney, the oxtail, the heart, the brain, and any other internal organ, the sweetbreads. All those are internal organs, and as we know, they can still be cooked the same way we cook the meat. For example, we can have stewed liver, braised liver, we can have grilled kidney, we can have grilled heart. So we can have fried tripe. Tripe ni matumbo. The small intestine, the big one is known as honeycomb. So that is what we call the offals. Oh, sorry, where I did comment where I can repeat, or any question that you are having concerning any part that I have already done. Remember, now we are talking about the protein dishes, and we've begun with the fish, with eggs, sorry. So we've said we can have egg curry, we can have scotched eggs as our protein dishes, and when it is dry, it must have a sauce. When it is dry, it must have a sauce. Then we have gone to the fish. Okay. Now, about the fish, I have said that there are many fish dishes that we have mentioned, like bouillons of place, like bread-crumbed fish fillets, like fish cakes, like fish fried in butter, like pan-fried fish fillets. And all these fish dishes that I have mentioned are dry. It does not mean that we do not have wet fish. We still have stewed fish, stewed whole fish, and we've seen us do that in the kitchen. That is wet, does not need a sauce. But when fish is dry, it needs a sauce. The only sauce that I have taught you about fish is known as tartar sauce. That is the sauce we write with all our fish dishes. But today I have said I am adding you other 3 sauces. So we have white wine sauce. That is a sauce used for fish. White wine sauce. Then we have tomato vinaigrette sauce, and we have butter sauce. So butter sauce is also another sauce for fish. So those are the 3 sauces that are suitable for the fish dishes. Then next I have gone to the lamb, and I've said with the lamb we have either dry or wet dishes. Solomon, I'm going to mute you. I'm muting everybody because of the echo. So we communicate through the chat. I'm going to unmute all of you later for any comments that you are going to be having. So now the lamb dishes, lamb and beef, I've said they're almost similar. We have brown beef stew, we have brown mutton stew. We have braised beef, we have braised lamb, ama mutton. So those ones are almost similar. When they are dry, whether grilled or roast or baked, then they must have a sauce. And this sauce is mostly the gravy sauce or thickened gravy or tomato sauce. Jason, don't switch it on. Don't switch it on. So that is about the red meat, the lamb and the beef. I have also said when it comes to pork, when it comes to pork, the most appropriate sauce, sweet and sour sauce. When you are having barbecued pork ribs, you also make sweet and sour sauce. So the sauce for pork must have some sugar in it. That is why it is sweet and sour. Then about chicken or about poultry, I have said that we have sauces which are suitable for chicken. For example, bread sauce. We also have supreme sauce. We also have tomato sauce. And I have said that supreme sauce is a sauce made from a particular term we usually call liaison. So liaison is a term among the terms that I had given you. It is a term among those that I had given you. Now, there are those people in the WhatsApp group who are saying that the session has not yet opened. I think you people are opening, some of them are opening the wrong one. Like someone has opened introduction and we are talking about menu compilation. So assist those that you are able to assist from your end. So what was I even saying? Comment down there what I have just said about what I was talking about pork. Okay, yes, we are talking about liaison and the supreme sauce. So I have said liaison is a term that I had given you previously, and liaison was most suitable for making supreme sauce. So those of you who made chicken with the supreme sauce, you saw that your menu was correct, because liaison is a mixture of egg yolks. Liaison is a mixture of egg yolks and cream. Egg yolks and cream. So egg yolks and cream is what we call liaison when they are mixed together. So they make supreme sauce, and this particular sauce is usually served together with the chicken. So we have many chicken dishes. We have roast chicken, grilled chicken, we have chicken stew, we have braised chicken. So all those, if they are wet, they do not need a sauce. If they are dry, then they need sauces, the sauces that I have mentioned. Bread sauce, supreme sauce, tomato sauce. So those are the most common chicken sauces. There are very many others which you will find in the practical cookery under chicken. Now I think I can go to offals. I had also talked about them, and I have said that offals are the internal organs of animals. Internal organs of animals like the heart, the liver, the kidney, the tripe. All those are internal organs. The oxtail, the brain. So we can also cook them the same way we cook the other protein dishes, meaning we can have stewed liver, we can have braised liver, we can have grilled kidney, we can have fried tripe. And I was saying that tripe is the small intestine. Tripe is the small intestine. Then when we have honeycomb is what we call matumbo, the one with, how do I explain this? Do you know honeycomb? Just comment down there whether you know honeycomb. So we have honeycomb, we have tripe, and all those other internal organs. When you look at your production notes on proteins, they've actually started with offals, apoju. So the offals are those internal organs of animals. Now let me go to the starch, and these are very many of them, beginning with wheat products like chapati. We have rice. Rice has got very many dishes. We have plain boiled rice, we have braised rice, we have risotto rice, and many other rice dishes. Then pasta, the spaghettis, we have spaghetti. Now, with the spaghetti, there is this particular dish, spaghetti bolognese. Spaghetti bolognese. Spaghetti bolognese usually is cooked with minced meat and then the spaghetti. Now, anytime you will be having your menu with spaghetti bolognese, then it means your menu is going, in the main meal, you're going to be having only two items. You'll have the spaghetti bolognese and the vegetable. Spaghetti bolognese and the vegetable, because spaghetti bolognese is carrying both protein and the starch. It has the minced meat and it has the spaghetti, which is the starch. So do not write beef stew, spaghetti bolognese, mixed vegetables. No, simply write spaghetti bolognese and then your vegetable of choice, depending on the terms that you have been given. Then we also have macaroni. We also have macaroni. So we have macaroni, we have pen, that's why we have pen arrabbiata. When we'll be dealing with the starch in food production, we are going to see all these, that pen is a type of pasta, macaroni is a type of pasta, spaghetti is a type of pasta, and they are all different. They are types of pasta, but their difference in names comes from their shapes. The difference comes from their shapes. So we'll learn that when we'll be doing starch as a topic in production theory. Potato is a starch. Most of you have been writing potato as a vegetable. You find somebody having chicken, rice, and then and a vegetable anaandika potato. No. When it comes to menu planning, potato is a source of carbohydrate, so it is a starch dish. So we write it under starch. Whether it is mashed potato, whether it is boiled potato, whether it is, which other potato dishes do you know? All those other potato dishes like French fries, like parmentier potatoes, like all those others. So all potatoes are starch dishes. They are starch dishes. So any question up to this far before I continue? So I'm waiting for your Okay, why they are written under vegetables? Because when we classify vegetables, and you've seen that in the food production theory notes, we have types of vegetables. So we have the seeds, we have the roots, we have the tubers. Same case you will find also in the starch. We also have tubers where potatoes feature. But now, when we look at the food value, you'll find that they have vitamin, yes, and they still have starch. Now, the biggest component in the potato is starch. Starch. So because of the big component of starch, when we are cooking them in a dish, we put them as the starch, and then we get another suitable vegetable, which is more of a vegetable. So I know the reason why most people write it under vegetable, it is because it features in the theory notes as a type of vegetable, the tubers or the root vegetables. So that tends to confuse many people. So it has the component of vegetable and component of starch, but when it comes to food value, then it is more of a starch than a vegetable. So that is why in menu we write it under starch only and never under vegetable. Now, Solomon, what of croquette potatoes? Yes, croquette potatoes are a starch dish. All the potato dishes, they are starch dishes. So I think I can now go to vegetables. And when we go to vegetables, we have very many of them. I've said one, never write potato as a vegetable. But now we have others. We have fruit vegetables like tomatoes. Tomatoes are vegetables. I don't know whether you are aware that you can have tomato concasse as your vegetable. I don't know whether your practical cookery has that particular dish, tomato concasse, although I will discourage you from writing it because it will just bring more confusion. So we have things like courgettes. You can have roast courgettes. We can have grilled courgettes. You can have steamed courgettes. Those are courgettes. Then we can have aubergines, whether grilled, whether roast, whether steamed. We can have cabbage, braised red cabbage. You can have steamed cabbage. You can have buttered cabbage. We can have steamed spinach, creamed spinach, buttered spinach, saute kales, buttered broccoli, mixed vegetable. All those are vegetable dishes. Then, after we are done with our vegetable, we now go to coffee with milk. Now, as we always say, coffee with milk is not part of the courses of the menu. The moment we usually put that XXX below a particular dish. How do you roast courgettes? Okay, I'm going to answer that. Now, the moment you put XXX, that simplifies the end of a course and the beginning of another. So when you put XXX below your dessert and write coffee, now that is not a 3-course menu with coffee. That has become a 4-course menu. So we write coffee with milk because your question says you compile a 3-course menu with coffee. So coffee is an accompanying beverage down there. So this brings me to the end of what I wanted to say concerning menu compilation before we start making the menus. Now, Daisy, you've asked how we roast courgettes. Now, Anytime we are roasting either vegetables or potatoes, we usually blanch them first. Tunazi blanch. What is to blanch? To blanch is to put your vegetables, and I think in the notes that I sent, the notes zenye mko nazo sahi, the culinary terms that are there, blanching iko hapo. So you put your vegetables in hot salty water. Why do we do that? There are many reasons of blanching. One, we want to preserve the color. We want to preserve the nutrients and avoid overcooking. And also, now in this case of roasting, we want to give them moisture. Remember, roasting is a dry method of cooking. So we need to do what? We need to give them moisture so that when they get into the oven, that moisture is going to help them in the process of their cooking. So you blanch them first, then now you put them in the roasting tray and roast. And anytime you are putting anything in the roasting tray, remember you have to do what? To grease that roasting tray. Lazima uipake butter or cooking oil so that you are able to cook it nicely. It does not stick to the pan. Any other question? Any other question regarding what I have just said before I talk about, or before I give you terms? Now, once we are done with this particular session, because it's ending at 9, yeah, just 7 minutes to go. So once we are done with this one, I am creating a chat. So you are going to join a chat. This time not a blue button, but a chat. You're going to be chatting there. So we're going to be chatting about the terms that I am giving you and any other question that you might be having. So any question before I give you the first batch of terms that you are going to make a menu from? Any question? Yes? Yeah. Wacha nikwambie kitu sawa. Sawa. Any question? Type in your questions down there. Okay, so if no one has a problem is that now, these are the first terms that I am giving. Carry, roll is ROLL, whip, WHIP, fold in, and glazed, GLAZED. Carry, roll, whip, fold in, glazed. So I want you to make a menu using those terms, compile a menu using those terms, and I'm creating a chat. So join the chat and comment there with your menu. Then we are going to be correcting that menu. We are going to be correcting that particular. The first one is curry, CURRY, curry. So the terms are curry, roll, whip, fold in, and glazed. Those are the 5 terms of our first batch of terms: curry, roll, whip, fold in, glazed. I hope everybody has gotten the terms. Anybody who has not gotten the terms? Okay. So if there is no other issue, we are done with this blue button or the audio part. So we are now going to the chat, and I'm going to, actually I'm not going to invite you. I'm going to create the chat. So you will simply go to where there is below the blue button, you'll find the chat and you will join the chat. I'm also going to save this particular, I'm going to save this particular recording. I'm hoping that those who have joined late or those who were not able to join the class, then will be able to find it. And if you have any other questions, you can always write them under the chat.